Hey guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Gab, and before we get started, please don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button for more updates. Alright, so based on high demand, in this video tutorial, I will quickly demonstrate how to create a drop-down list using Microsoft Excel. Alright, okay, so let us take this file as an example. Now, in cases that you are tasked by your boss to collect data by sharing a form or a survey, you know it will be very difficult to control what people will write unless they have the same format, spelling, or preference of what to type. In this example, the data needs to type of membership. Okay, so that's going to be found in column C. So the expectation is to classify each employee from a specific village, what type of membership they are into. Okay, so the entry for each could be uniform to avoid multiple classifications when the data will be analyzed. Of course, it would be very hard for you to analyze different spellings, different spaces, different cases, etc., if they are not the same value or format. Now, to be able to control that, one of the best options is to create a drop-down list using MS Excel. To do that, you should first create a tab or a file that contains the source, which contains the list of options you wish to classify a certain cell value. So in this example, I created a source tab that contains the type of membership for each employee. Now let's take a look. So in this case, I created new member, canceled, deleted, restored, paused, and others. Okay, so these are the only options you can select if we will be able to create the drop down list for this list. Okay, all right. So, say for example, you're able to create in this tab, you have to go back to the main activity sheet, which is this one. Now, position your cursor to the cell where you want the items to be selected. So in this case, it's going to be under C2. Okay. And after that, it's the time now to create the drop down list for our activity sheet. Okay. So let's go to data. Okay. So there's a lot of menu for our ribbon here. So you look for the data and then click validation or data validation over here. Okay, under data tools. And then go to data validation. So this is the exact button. So it says here, pick from a list of rules to limit the type of data that can be entered in a cell. So that being said, you will be entering only data that are pre-created or that were pre-created under your source tab. So in this case, let's click this arrow here, okay, and then click data validation. All right. Okay, so now this pop-up will appear. So it says here settings, input message, and error alert. So you don't need to worry about that. You just have to select allow, and in this drop-down value, click the arrow button here and select list. Okay, so that's very easy. All right, so now that this pop-up appeared, you don't need to deselect everything, but just have to click this arrow up and this sub bar will appear. Now you have to go to the source or to the file or to the list where you will be selecting all the type of membership required for these value. So click the source and then you have to highlight all of the cells containing the type of membership or the list that will be used as a drop down. You will see a formula will appear here equals source and then exclamation point, dollar value, the cell value, dollar value again, number, and then a colon up to the end cell value, which is A7. So it's automatically populated. You don't need to worry about that and click the arrow button. Okay. So once that's being done, just hit OK. All right, now you can see here the arrow down. So let's validate. So for us to classify Afton Pradovic from Caloocan, let's select the membership. So if in case I am the respondent for the research, I'll be the one populating what type of membership is this for. It's meant for this employee. So say for example, he's a canceled member. So I'm just click canceled. So it's now uniform. Okay. All right. Now, if you notice, there isn't any drop down button for cell C3, right? But to have that happen, you can first delete here and then look at these small square here and then click it. Once you see the cross, double click it and then drag it up to the last value or last row, okay, that contains the listing. And if you would notice, it will copy the same type of lists that you need to classify on for each member. Okay. Now, when you will be sending this file to a person or to any respondent, if you share this, okay, they will be able to see the selection for each employee that they need to classify, especially if you're working with different people across an organization. But you know what? Just a simple tip. You can also share this if you are a member of Office 365 and you're in one ecosystem or one organization. It's easier because you just have to share and then type the name or the email or the group of that person that can edit and then hit send. So that's, just a tip if you're under one organization. But usually you can send this. But um, what's more important is that you're able to create the drop down list. Okay. All right. So awesome, right? Okay. It made your life easier. This is a good option, especially if you're analyzing data. You don't need to scrub, to delete and modify, cells and other text values here because you're able to control what they need to select. Okay, if you're part of HR, accounting, or doing a research and asking for questions for different sorts of people and respondents, it's a good way to control your data and their entries. All right. So again, today you have learned how to create a drop-down list, and I hope I did help you. Now, how do you would like to delete this drop-down if in case you want a free text? It's very easy. Just have to copy this blank cell without any formula, then paste it over here, and then drag it down. Okay, so that's how you delete it. Okay, so there's no drop down anymore. Yeah, that's just another quick tip. Okay, so again, this is Gab, and thank you. You have a great day. Bye bye.